Hello and welcome back to another game from M2on2. My name is Marcus and I'm joined today by Jade. We are playing a game of Moonstone from Goblin King Games. For the cruise today, I'm running the Shades, which is Banshee, Jerry, Commodore and Barnacle, while Jade has Brother Daniel, Wendigo, Dancia, Antonia and Zoira. So the game starts off with Brother Daniel, and they move up, mine a stone, and then plant a standard, moving up the rest of their crew. An inch, a whole inch. I go with Barnacle, who moves up, and then Dead Troll fingers the Commodore, adding 2 energy, but he loses 2 arcane before trying it one more time and being caught in a lie and taking 3 damage. Boo. Wendigo moves up and mind controls Dancia forward an inch. Jerry activates, moves up, moves the tea cake up, heals the troll Barnacle before holding onto 2 energy for steps to keep away from Antonia. Dancia, having been moved up the board already, moves forward and tries to puppeteer Barnacle. This fails. Commodore moves up, and Zoira steps and black spots the Wendigo. Antonia moves up and then uses candy apples to pull the Commodore forwards. And this does 4 damage to him. Ouch. Banshee activates, steps, moves up, grabs a stone, and then double steps towards another stone. Zoira moves forward, choosing murder rather than moonstones, and kills the Commodore with her signature attack on the High Guard. But this was all part of my cunning plan, as now Vengeance is active on Snag, so he can use all his energy to move, and then is able to try to curse the witches. However, this fails. That's the end of turn 1. And we go into turn 2, and I am holding some moonstones, and Jade is holding some moonstones. Okay. Turn 2, Jerry goes first, and I confirm with my opponent that I can fit between 2 moonstones that Jerry accepts, and then starts to mine them down. I get one of them out of the ground before Zoira steps to close enough to Jerry to stop her grabbing, or him grabbing, the second stone. TK moves up. Bravo Daniel activates, moves forwards, and plants another standard, pushing up the rest of their crew. I go with Banshee, and they move onto another stone and scream at the Wendigo. This, however, fails. Oh, wait. This fails. There seems to be no pinks in my deck. And then she just mines the stone instead. Reagan? Left it? Where's Reagan come from? Someone blasts Snag with a malachite ritual. I don't know. Barnacle summons back the Commodore into a water patch, which gives him 1 energy and a fresh pistol. Banshee realizes this and moves toward Banshee as Wendigo realizes this, moves towards Banshee and gets the Commodore to shoot Barnacle, telling me they had a green free when in fact it was a pink one, and then steps up to Banshee for next turn. Commodore fights Zoira and a double falling swing into a low guard hits for 5 damage. Zoira steps in to engage the Commodore at this point. Dancia, seeing Zoira badly wounded, tries to use her super heal. But that fails. Snag at this point, unlike Zoira, decides that stones win games and goes and grabs one with all his energy, as it was a deep, deep stone. This ends the turn. And we go into turn 3. Antonia goes first and attempts to heal Zoira, and this fails on the first attempt. But on the second attempt, we get a blue free. And so they are healed 4. Snag walks and then steps to engage with Zoira, who uses her swift to get out of dodge. Snag steps again to re-engage Zoira, and Zoira steps into the fight this time. Dancia falls back to grab a stone, behind the building. And Jerry used 2 energy to break away from Zoira and be on the other side of the stone. Commodore activates and moves towards Dancia and fights her, but thrusts towards a high guard, so minimal damage. Actually, no damage, because Commodore doesn't improve piercing. So Wendigo fights Commodore. Oh, is that one? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Wendigo fights Commodore and hits a double falling swing against a low guard. And then attacks Banshee. Attacks Banshee, but sweeps into a high guard. We're into Jerry's combat, where Jerry mines a stone before Zoira moves back in. Tea Cake moves in to support, and Jerry starts with a topsy-turvy into a sweep, but cannot finish off the combat witch. Brother Daniel activates and walks and steps before ringing his bell to heal as much of the crew as they can around with a pink. And Barnacle tries to summon back the dead Commodore, but this is unsuccessful. Even with 4 cards, I still can't do it. And after all of the shenanigans with Zoira, she just acts her activation as she has spent her energy stepping around people for the turn. Okay. So we go into the last turn, and we have got... Oh, and we'll see what happens. I think at this point, Daniel uses his building ability to make me have to re-roll my dice, making Jade have first activation. We work out it's turn 4. Okay, so Wendigo goes first and beats on Banshee, getting a stalemate, but on the second, Banshee goes for it, and a triple sweeping cut into the double falling swing is mutually assured destruction. #mad. Double falling, yes. Mad, I tell you, mad. So Banshee drops her 2 stones. The Wendigo and the Banshee die. And ouchies, last model. Oh, Snag should have got it. Snag getting it now will get a free casting later in the turn. Yay! Barnacle, seeing those stones out in the open, moves onto them and picks both up as they have enough energy. Brother Daniel fights Jerry with his 2-inch placard and gets a rising attack into the high guard, which causes some damage. Jerry then swifts away, but Daniel follows up and attacks again, leaving Jerry now on just a single wound. Ooh, that's a dangerous place to be. Long Earth combat. Okay. Cool. Sorry about this. Okay. So I go with Snag, and Snag tries to curse someone for free, but only getting catastrophes and does not want to kill Jerry. And at this point, Zoira uses their Swift to escape Snag. Snag instead follows up into Brother Daniel. And attacks, and a double falling swing into a sweeping cut is 7 damage. And that's how many wounds Brother Daniel has, unfortunately. Ouch. Antonia activates and candy apples Jerry, killing him and making him drop a stone. The pinks have been found at last. I am out of models at this point. Zoira then activates and goes in for the kill onto Barnacle. However, Barnacle's +2 impact makes the damage Zoira gives out so Zoira has to go very hard to try this, but it fails because a double falling swing finishes off Zoira in possibly the second hit. This is a great game. The game ended free to shades, 0 to the Leshavult. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the game. If you did, please like it, please subscribe and watch future shows. Goodbye.